I am a huge fan of Fender Jaguars and Fender offsets in general, so when I heard the new Player 2 series would include a Jaguar, I was so hyped. Especially in recent years, if you didn't live in fucking Japan, your options for Fender Jaguars were so limited, especially if you just wanted a traditional Jaguar with the rhythm circuit and all the fucking chrome and all that cool shit that you would buy a Jaguar for. And hey, I've owned a couple Jaguars and Jaguar adjacent guitars in recent years, and to be completely honest with you, I never used the rhythm circuit or any of the extra switches that they add. I just think it looks so cool. Like, you're buying a Jaguar for the vibes, dude. Like, all that extra chrome and extra buttons that you'll probably never use, it just looks so cool. As of the time of me recording this video right now, there are like 2 videos that exist online of this guitar, and it's both from people that just received this guitar for free on release day, and they basically just glaze the guitar the entire time. And I'm not knocking these people. I actually am subscribed to both of them and regularly watch their videos, but I was still suspicious. Like, I just feel like if you're a fan of Jaguars, this is just missing so much, and I just couldn't really see how this would please you. So instead of just looking at pictures and just talking shit without ever trying the guitar myself, I decided to buy the guitar. I bought this guitar with my own money, and I will say whatever the fuck I want. Alright, enough yapping, on to the actual review itself. The Player II Jaguar in Hialeah Ma La 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 Lea Lea Yellow. It's got an alder body with a thick glossed poly finish, maple bolt-on neck with a slab rosewood fretboard, modern C neck profile with rolled fret edges, 22 medium jumbo nickel frets, a synthetic bone nut, 9.5 inch radius, and a 24 inch scale length. It's got your typical Fender modern truss rod adjustment at the top, classic gear tuners, which means they are vintage style tuners that actually fit onto the headstock the same way that the modern style tuners fit on. They're interchangeable with your standard modern style Fender tuners and locking tuners. The maple has a really nice vintage tint to it, which I much prefer over the bare maple look. You've got 2 newly voiced Player II Jaguar pickups, 3-way pickup selector toggle switch, a Mustang style bridge with a preset radius, which I much prefer. These are so easy to set up. And your standard Jaguar tremolo unit. It's just missing that typical locking mechanism, and the bar itself is just a push-in. I was actually really impressed with how these pickups sound. Even with the 1 meg pots, your clean tones are super full, thick, warm, and just almost fat sounding. But I was mostly impressed with just how well this guitar handles overdrive and maybe a little bit of distortion. Your more typical vintage style Jaguar pickups don't really handle overdrive and distortion that well in my opinion and in my experience. They're just a lot more prone to 60 cycle hum and can get really noisy, which gets annoying. But with these, I would say that the 60 cycle hum is about on par with your typical Telecaster or Stratocaster single coils. And I'm mostly praising the overdrive tones on this guitar, which I think are great. The distorted tones, however, I think just sound like shit, which you will hear in the demo. I just could not get a good distorted tone out of this guitar for the life of me. But I mean, let's face it, this is not really the guitar that you would go to for kind of grungy, heavy distorted tones in the first place. So I wouldn't really knock it against it too much, but you'll hear what I'm talking about in the sound demo. And without any further ado, let's just go on to the sound demo. I'm playing through a blackface style Fender Princeton reverb with the volume at a very clean level. For the surfy tones, I'm using a Surfy Bear spring reverb unit, which I highly recommend. It has real springs in it, and it just has that genuine drippy spring reverb that I've kind of just been chasing all these years. For the overdrive tones, I'm using a Wampler Tumnus, which is basically a Klon clone, and an MXR Fat Sugar. And for distorted tones, I'm using Old Reliable, a DS1. I think it's pretty hard to make this pedal sound like shit, but this guitar kind of does that. God damn, I really wanted to hate this guitar. It feels great to play and I love the tones that I was getting at home, but I think the real test with really any guitar is gigging with it. So I gigged with it the other day, and this guitar did great. I think there was only one song out of the 13 that we played where I grabbed another guitar, but yeah, I used this guitar pretty much the whole time. It did great. I'm kind of used to Jaguar pickups not really handling overdrive and distortion very well, and with their clean tones sounding a little thin and just super bright and kind of raspy. I don't know if I've just been choosing like the wrong Jaguars this whole time, but I actually really like these pickups. They just sounded good in really every context that I put them in. Now, that doesn't mean I'd recommend playing like Nirvana on this. I wouldn't really recommend going for really distorted tones on this thing. But for the kind of indie rock stuff that me and my band play, you know, stuff like The Strokes, Franz Ferdinand, Arctic Monkeys, it handles that like sort of like garage rock sound super well with overdrive. But we need to address the elephant in the room. There's no rhythm circuit and there's no 3 switches over here. It's pretty much just the other player Jaguar pickguard, but with a single coil in the bridge instead of a humbucker. And like I said earlier, I never use the rhythm circuit or the extra switches, especially the bright switch at the bottom. Like, a Jaguar is already like super bright. I really don't understand why they put that on there. But I think all the extra switches and all the extra chrome just kind of adds to the vibe of the guitar. It just looks so cool, and it's just so pleasing to have a guitar that looks like that. But playing with my band with this kind of sort of simplified Jaguar setup, I mean, everything stayed out of the way. Everything was just super easy to transition to between pickups, between different parts of the songs. It just worked. And I kind of hate that because I am frustrated that it's missing, you know, all that extra stuff, but also at the same time, it just was kind of convenient. I wanted to hate this guitar. Like, I cannot stress that enough. I really wanted to fucking hate this thing and just make a video where I just ripped into it and just kind of said the complete opposite of what everyone else was saying. But after owning this for a little while, I kind of got used to the look without all the extra chrome, and it's just a good guitar, man. It just, especially for the price. From most retailers, including Fender themselves, you can get 10% off pretty much any Fender product the first time. And when you get this for 10% off, I think that's just the perfect price for this thing. And I know that might be kind of controversial, but I really do think once you get that 10% off, this is a pretty fair price for this guitar. And I fucking know that things used to be cheaper. I fucking know. But when I just look at this objectively as a Fender brand product in terms of how Fender is currently pricing things at this moment in time, I think that this is a super fair price. The neck is super comfortable to play. The rosewood is nice and dark all the way down. The pickups sound great. I mean, controls are easy as dirt. The vibrato system is super smooth. I never have the bar like constantly swinging down like with other ones. Like, you just shove it in and it'll stay there. It's really nice. If you're a fan of Jaguars, this might piss you off at first. Trust me, I know. But I think you would actually be really pleasantly surprised with this thing. I am really happy with my purchase. I intended on just reviewing this and just returning it and, you know, just saying fuck you to this thing, but I actually like it, and I think I'm gonna keep it. Yeah. Well, let me know what you guys think. You know, this is an inanimate object, and Fender is a multi-million-dollar company that's not going anywhere. So if you want to rip into this thing in the comments, just, you know, fucking have at it. Just be kind to one another, you know? Don't be a dick. So yeah, good guitar, solid purchase. Wanted to hate it, but I actually really like it. And that's pretty much all I had to say.